Hello there, my name is Susan McCreevy and I'm a mixed media artist from Inverness in Scotland. So today I'm going to be showing you how to adhere a little bird collage on top of your jelly print to create a finished design. So back in January this year I started doing a little sketchbook. This is called a baby board book and it's just upcycled with different pages, different design ideas in here. This idea came from another artist called Drew Steinbecker, and he has a free tutorial on how to make these, which is excellent. I highly recommend that. But for me, I wanted to figure out ways of using my jelly prints in different ways. So when I added this little bird here, I thought it sort of sparked an idea for me, and I thought I would like to continue this and make some finished paintings with the idea. So for this little guy, I just stenciled straight on top of the board, and what I did was I used a stencil shape cut out like this, and then I took my paint and my little piece of sponge and I stenciled the lighter colour through the stencil like so. But for these more finished pieces, I didn't want to stencil straight onto it just in case I made a mistake. Sometimes when you stencil you get little smudges and just things go wrong sometimes. This is on a wooden substrate and I didn't want to damage it or have to start again, sand it back and lose my background that I like. So what I'm going to do is add a little bird. So I quite like this bird shape. So this is the shape I've chosen. So I'm going to show you how to get this bird as a finished design. I'll show you some others that I've just finished. So this one here is on the wooden panel, and this is the jelly prints in the background, and I've collaged elements, and then I've collaged the little bird on here, hand-drawn elements, and then I've fixed it with fixative, ready to get the finishing gloss varnish on there. This is another one on the wood panel that's just finished, and this one here was on a canvas, so it works on canvas too. So you can attach your print to your canvas frame to create a finished design. So for references, you can pick up books like this in charity shops with birds, images to give you some ideas for different bird shapes that you might like to use, or then you could look at the shapes of their feathers to get ideas for the little the hand-drawn elements. So these are great little books. You get a lot of different birds and inspiration in here. So you could just draw in that shape and then enlarge it to whatever size fits the painting you want to do. Another way you can do it is, these are called Dover clip art books, and they have silhouettes. I've had this one for quite a number of years. I've used it in quite a few different projects. I like this book, and I think what I did was I picked a few of the bird shapes I thought that might go with this one, and then I've took it with my camera and then enlarged them. You can see that's a little bit bigger than what's on that page. So I've just enlarged it a bit, and I've just put them on my app on my iPad. It's called Notes, and you can sort of resize things and then just print it out on the one page. Just saves a bit of paper. This is on a bit of thicker card that goes through my printer, and once you cut out the shape, it's a little bit more durable for putting the stencil through. So you can cut out the shapes on slightly thinner paper just to sort of test out whether they're going to go with your design. So I had a look at this. This one was the one I've sort of decided on, but I thought I'd try this one. I think he's just too big and just not the right shape for this. And again, this one here maybe, but I just think this little one sits nicer. As long as we get a little branch or something for him to sit on, that'll be quite nice. So what I'd like to do is show you how I go from this to the finished piece here. Now for this one here, I've used in the wing, I've actually taken a piece of one of my jelly prints and placed it on top so you've got that sort of textured colour coming through, and that is bringing through the design from here with the same colour story. So that sort of makes it go quite well together. I'm not sure if I'll do that with him or not, so I'm going to draw him out as a silhouette in a plain colour, and then I'm going to work out the design for him. and then I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Okay, so I've got my piece of card here with my silhouette designs. So what I'm going to do is take a piece of tracing paper and place it over the bird that I want to use, and I've scaled it to the right size for the design. So this is the same, just roughly cut that one out just to make sure it's going to fit on the board that I have. So I'm going to draw around the outline of the bird, just using a propelling pencil there, but any pencil will do. Now you can be as creative as you want in this process. You can change the shape of the bird, you can make up your own shape. It just entirely up to yourself, but this is the easiest way for you if you're a beginner. So I'm not going around all the wee tiny lines here. I'm just trying to cut it out, draw in a shape that I'll be able to cut it out with a knife. If it's too fiddly, it'll be really tricky to cut out. So while I'm at this stage here, what I'm going to do is fill in some of these spaces with a design that I would like on the final piece. So I've got one that I've sort of worked out the design here, so I'll just show you roughly how I'm going to add that in by using the tracing paper. So I would just look at the neckline there. So I want this wing to come in, so I'm just going to do some sort of small leaf shapes at the top, and then there would be sort of overlapping design. Now you can look at leaves, you can look at the feathers here, so they sort of gradually sort of fold in behind each other. At an angle. And then I'm going to do some sort of smaller pointy ones here, and again these are sort of hidden behind each other. And then starting from the middle of this feather and coming down and under that one. Now, this is not an anatomical bird, it's just, they're quite childlike, the finished designs, but it just gives you sort of suggestion of feathers in the wings. You can be as creative as you want. You can draw flowers or whatever you want. It's your own design. So it just gives you a rough idea. And then these tail feathers, I'm just going to okay, and then the neck, I think I'll just do some little sort of decorative to suggest a sort of collar on the bird. So this will all be solid colour, so these are going to be the white pen marks. A line where the wing is. And if I take that away, you can see roughly the shape of the little bird there. Okay, so I'll pop these aside just now. So the next thing I want to do is use this as the shape that I'm going to stamp through. So I'll get my cutting mat here, and I'm going to cut this bird out roughly. So you just carefully, with a sharp craft knife, cut. Yeah, I think he's gonna quite happy there. So now we've got the outline of the bird. So what we'll do is use the sponge to put the paint on to the paper. So I'm going to get the notebook now. So I've got here is a Winsor Newton drawing pad. It's 220 grams and it is smooth grain. And the reason I like the smooth grain for this is because when you draw with the pen on top, there's a lovely smooth line and you don't get any bumps, the same as you would with say like a textured watercolor paper. And also the thickness is not too thick that it shows up that's, you know, it's an obvious collage once you've got it on top. So I'm going to cut a piece of this size roughly of my birdie. So we don't want it too there. Look. So I'll put it that way. So depending on what direction you could perhaps want your bird to face this way. So at this point you could just turn over your silhouette and put it the other way, so you could have your bird facing a different direction. So that's an easy way to do that, but I quite like him facing the center of the design. I'm just going to stick with that. So for the color, I'm looking at this. I like the sort of dark blue in here, so what I think I'm going to do is take that color but just slightly darker for this bird. It's sort of a soft bluey Payne's grey color, I would call that. So let me see if I can just mix that up. So what I like to do when I'm working on a big series of paintings is at the start of the series I work out the colour scheme that I want, and then I like to mix up colours in a big tub, and if I've got any spare paint over I just add it to the colour that's most similar to that, so I'm not wasting it, and they actually last for ages. When you put a lid on top, just give it a spray of water. So what I've done is I've got these colours mixed up with the darker versions. They're all the same sort of colour family. So I've just put some of them on here on my little tray, a little bit gold just to warm up. So I think what I'd like to do is have the dark on the head and then the lighter on the tail, because I think that's quite a nice effect on the bird. Same way that I've done in this one. I saw he's got a lighter blue tail. It's not going to be as dark as that one because this colour palette is, the tones are a lot softer in this one. I'm going to keep it a little bit softer in this guy. Just putting a wee bit of tape just to hold it in place so it doesn't jump about too much. So I've got my colours there. So I'm going to go for the darker colour at the top. So just take your sponge, a little bit of paint maybe, try a little bit, just mix up the colour you want. Now you're better to test it out on a scrap of paper, just to see if you like it. You can just hold up against, see if you need it a wee bit darker. I think a little bit darker would be better. You want your sponge to be saturated but not too soaked. So let's try again. Yeah, I think that's better. I'm just going to start at the top on his head and just gently dab. I think I might make his feet a little bit darker, so I'll just take some of that black blue just for his little feet. And I'm going to take a clean bit of sponge and try and do a lighter area mixed with the gold again, I think. Again, you can test it next to that. See, I think that's too much gold. Needs a little bit more blue. I'm starting from the bottom and I'm going to blend into that dark shade. I'm going to take some of the That's quite nice because I had a little bit of the black still on it, so it's a little bit darker. So we've gone for like an ombre effect there. Little birdie. Okay, so I'm going to take this tape off carefully. And then we've got our little bird silhouette. I'll just let that dry and then I'll cut that shape out. Or you could, actually we'll probably just draw on it first, might be easier before it's cut out. Okay, so the little birdie is dry now. So what I use to transfer the design onto the bird is hand copy carbon paper. Now this is a white one, but you can get blue ones. You know when you get your little books for writing receipts, you get the piece of blue in between, that's what that is. You can get black as well. So they come in different colours, but I think if you're going on top of a dark surface, the white is quite good because you can see through it like this. So again, you just want to put a little bit of tape to hold it in place. Like this, and then you've got your little design. So that's the design we did to start with. So I want to transfer that design on top of the silhouette. You can just lift up a wee corner just to make sure that it is transferring before you do the whole thing and it's not working. Outline of the bird. If you just start from the top and work your way down, then you don't miss any bits. Let's have a quick look before I take it off. Yep, quite happy with the transfer there. So I'll just remove that. And then you can go over that with a gel pen. Okay, so then we need to cut that out again. Okay, so we've got my one piece. Could keep that and use it for another stencil. Use on your jelly plate. Or oh, he looks quite cute. Yeah, I think he needs a little bit of a branch from another jelly plate too. Again, so I want to put the tracing paper where I want the bird, and then sort of rough shape that we want. And there's two sides to this. One side will transfer and one side doesn't, so it's sort of shiny side you want down. And you can see here I've used it for other projects, so you can use the same piece over again. So that's the kind of dark bit that I want. So I'm just going to roughly score there. Checking that's the right bit. Yep. So this is called Yes Paste, and it's not got much water in it. It's acid free, so it's not going to yellow. Good for sticking heavier bits of card down. You'll need a tiny thin layer of it. Make sure you get right to the edges wherever you're sticking. It's going to flop up. Okay, got a baby wipe handy. To work out where I think the easiest way would be work out where your bird's going first, and then place your branch. I'll get a piece of clean paper just to press them down. If you feel there's any sticky bits, just give it a wee wipe with a baby wipe, because you don't want any of that Yes Paste getting on painting. So I'll probably touch that up with some more paint just to add some depth to this little painting. This just helps to make the bird feel like he's part of the painting and he's not just plonked on there. You just kind of paint around him and a little bit of shadow work. Just wanted to try that gold, see if it would work, because it was just needing something to lift the bird. Yeah, I like the gold. Okay, so I think I'm quite happy with this little bird, and hope you enjoyed this lesson on how to add a bird to your jelly plate designs. Okay, so thank you for watching. Hope to see you again at one of my other online classes or tutorials. Bye for now.